Hi, my name is, well, right now it's Leslie. Really selecting I believe in Ted. But I'm taking back my birth name. Comic story. Nobody remembers. Okay, as promised, um, did see season 7 of HBO's Game of Thrones. And I was quite shocked that there were no redundancies. Everything seems to be in order. So it actually went pretty well. But I do have a problem with their supposed cartoon. I was thinking, like, are you serious? This is supposed to be animated. Oh, right. Okay, so here is my review of the cartoon, and I will do a separate one about 7. But I want to get this cartoon one out of the way. The HBO version, Targaryen history. One, where's the animation? Okay, clothing blowing in a breeze is not animation. Sorry, that was to me like the biggest joke ever. Okay, cartoon. There's no actual actors. They're not actual actors. They're just cartoon people. And one thing I can say was that the monologue was excellent for the story because you could tell the different actors' voices and what have you. So that was good. That was actually about the only good thing I found about it. In between the chapters, there was big gaps left in it, and even though it's a fictional Targaryen timeline, it's like none of it made any sense. It's too vague. Definition of an animation is anything that is moving in a cartoon, such as hands, lips, head, feet, etc. And none of that was going on. They're not stone people where, okay, who's putting their clothes on that blows in the wind if they're just sitting still, riding a horse? You see the problem I have there? That's like lame. Examples of animation is Warner Brothers, Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry Show, Betty Boop, Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Pocahontas, Mulan, The Lion King, and Aladdin, to name a few. Okay, those are animation. Their lips are actually moving. They're actually saying or doing something. That's a real animated cartoon. Then I noticed that since I was noted when I went to BCTI for having very good attention for detail. That's why I made the Dean's List 5 times and graduated with honors. Sliding Technicolor pictures stacked on each other for scenery and imitation animation is what I detected. It's like first you have the background, then you have some other stuff, and they stack the pictures together, and then they slide them across to make it look like some kind of animation, but that's still not animation. The next thing that I found that was wrong was that Daenerys' birth was completely off and wrong. She was not born in Essos. If anybody's done the proper research with the Wikipedia, the online encyclopedia, obviously she was born in King's Landing. They showed at the end that she was born in Essos because her mother, being pregnant, had escaped King's Landing with Viserys III, her brother, who went into exile. And so that is completely wrong. Absolutely. I'm sorry, but wrong is wrong and right is right. And two wrongs don't make a right. When she was born, her father, Ares II, was still alive. And I've proven that in my movie scripts based on fact, not some made up stuff that has nothing to do with the Game of Thrones or doesn't make any sense at all. But it was a hard birth, and it says that she died giving birth to Daenerys. This probably explains why Viserys blamed Daenerys, because he thought, well, maybe if she wasn't born, the mother would still be alive. I don't know. That's just my theory. But nevertheless, um, if you look closely at the one picture that you can find on Wikipedia, the inline encyclopedia, okay, you can't carry a newborn piggyback style. I mean, newborn baby's not going to know about wrapping their hands and their arms around your neck to hang on, okay? That's not normal, even if it is fiction. She would have to be at least 4 or 5 years of age in the Targaryen timeline to ride her brother Viserys' back, piggyback style. I mean, regardless of the fact that this other character, Uncle Aegon, who, again, because common sense would say, okay, if you have bright blonde hair, they're going to kill them anyway. So the whole idea to make sure they get exiled safely, somebody would head to found them, rescue them, take them to Essos, and that's why I threw in Aegon. So kind of gives a little more, as I call it, realism. So I don't know where HBO comes up with this stuff. It's like, okay, maybe they didn't have enough espresso. Maybe they should have drank more lattes. Maybe they need a vacation or something. I have no idea where they come up with this. But the source of correct information, again, can be verified on Wikipedia, the online encyclopedia. Granted, they are a fictional date of Daenerys Stormborn Targaryen's birth, consecutively based on anthology. The date of Ares II's Targaryen's death by the Kingslayer, Jaime Lannister, can actually be verified. The facts stated of Viserys III Targaryen fleeing in Essos with Daenerys getting piggyback ride on brother's back as they go to Essos in exile can also be verified. The facts of Mother died due to hard labor of Daenerys and hard labor, and consecutively would have been about 4 or 5 years of age, riding piggyback on her brother Viserys III Targaryen's back as they flee to Essos. The mother, that of course means she was deceased, not on a sailing vessel. It's like, how come people don't seem to get the clues? So, in conclusion of this review of this supposed animated HBO, which it is not animated, cartoon, the story and monologue voice was excellent, but many gaps and wrong details of Daenerys' mother and Daenerys was discovered in the end. Absolutely no animation whatsoever. A major disappointment. So I would give a rating between 1 and 10. HBO gets a 30. Sorry, nice try. Not even close to my hard work. I think possibly HBO feels threatened because I am of third class and I will be using real actors and actresses who will have flashback descriptions of the historical timeline. It's not a bad rendition of a cartoon, but it isn't even properly animated. You know, a wisp of hair or something. That's not animated, sorry. In any case, as I said, season 7 was excellent, had no discrepancies in question. However, it's evident that HBO is trying to kill everyone off as a way of ending the Game of Thrones seasons. This does not bring a happy ending, in my opinion. However, Olenna Tyrell will be back, because even the Kingslayer said, no guarantee of how fast the poison works. Then, in the last episode, season 7, which I believe was episode 7, you never see or hear of Olenna Tyrell from there on. So, who's to say a maester of House Tyrell doesn't escape being hung on the wall by the Lannister forces, gives Olenna Tyrell a potion, and then hides her out, so the enemy will continue to think she is deceased. Case in point, I found the opening that HBO left open. I brought Margie Tyrell back, though a fluke I discovered in season 6. And now comes Olenna Tyrell, an open fluke I discovered as well. So that's my review. I'm very disappointed in their bad cartoon rendition of animation of Targaryen history, but the season 7 episodes were excellent. When I get to London, UK, I will do a presentation of all the false discrepancies, other discoveries, and how the author, actors, and actresses can make money, as well as producers and crew of directors, etc. The issues that we should review is what HBO has not done correctly. I mean, they obviously went to Russia showing it without permission. They entered a country without permission, and you only saw this once on the Associated Press of the World Wide Web. Either they wanted to keep it hush hush and they settled out of court, or made some kind of deal that it not be public because HBO is trying to save their reputation. Too late. There was a discrepancy in some actual work written by George R. Martin, who said, even on a YouTube interview, and I quote, "I've all but lost faith in HBO," unquote, and can't even get the story straight. Okay, Drogo was continuously banging, and started to be so graphic, Daenerys. Okay, yes, in her opinion, dragons don't burn, and yeah, her brother was a bit of a bully. He obviously didn't learn anything while growing up in exile about how to treat his sister better. But at the same time, Drogo was not going to assist her in invading Westeros. That obviously had changed. And when I had pointed this out in other narrations, the responses I got back on YouTube is, well, but it's so much easier. So what they're saying is it's so much easier to see Drogo doing X-rated sexual positions with Daenerys, doggy style and all that, as opposed to sticking with the actual storyline written by George R. R. Martin. Sorry to be graphic, but that's the way it is. I'm not going to lie about what people tell me. You know, if it was Stephen King, no, there would have been major lawsuits filed. You know, I'm surprised that this went on as long as it did. So, you know, can't even get the story straight. I believe that probably what would most likely have happened. The witch, of course, yes, tried to help her with her birth, but you know, it was not a birth that was widely accepted. Other than the fact that, okay, you know, he's not going to help me invade Westeros. He just killed my brother, so yeah, she'd be a little torqued at that. So she kills Drogo with the sickle sword. And even though she just lost her kid, she still has some distrust about one. She said, no, let the women be my slaves. Well, the people now, having seen that by her hand she killed Drogo, they gather her and tie her to a post and say, well, as long as you wanted to have women free and be your slaves, and because this one here couldn't even deliver your baby right, that must mean you're cursed. We'll tie her to the post too, so she could be your slave in the afterworld. Well, as we all know, the witch dies, of course, and they make sure she gets to have her 3 dragon eggs because obviously they think she's a false prophecy. You know, I mean, how can a queen who is supposed to be the future unburned kill Drogo? You know, so they burn her. Well, when she survives, obviously half the people, you know, they're fleeing fear. They just don't want to follow her, and the other half is like, oh, well, maybe she is the unburned. So that's how the story actually went. But you'll never see or hear that from HBO because they're never going to tell you the truth. But I'm not going to make an issue of it because by them doing what they did, where Drogo and her are getting it on, and you know, obviously they don't have showers to cool their hormones, so that left the door open for a sequel. Not right away discovered, but later on. So I'm not going to make too much of an issue of that. Hey, it's all good. So, but the other redundancies, obviously, I have to point those out because I'm sorry, but like I said, I made Dean's List 5 times. I graduated with honors from BCTI, and I have attention to detail. And if it don't look right, don't make sense, why go with the flow? I call a spade a spade. It looks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's not a platypus, it's a duck. And that's the way I apply my reasoning in this review. So in the future, as Hollywood is redoing a movie by Charles Bronson, starring Bruce Willis, known as Death Wish, and people are planning on doing a remake of Stephen King's It. I think in time, the entire Game of Thrones, in my opinion, needs to be reshot, adding characters that were withheld, like Patchface, who was a good friend to Stannis Baratheon's daughter, a Princess of Dragonstone, as an example. So, the next presentation I'll do, which is a positive one, is about season 7, but mainly I just wanted to focus on some finer points of season 7 and the fact that this cartoon fictional timeline, what a joke. I'm sorry if I seem like a threat to HBO, but hey, one day I'm going to be in UK, and a symbolical male dragon known as Dragonsphere will unite with the mother dragons. It's inevitable, and you can't stop it, because if I'm doing it for free, I'm not gaining anything of it. Therefore, I cannot be guilty of plagiarism because I'm not making 1 pence, 1 farthing, 1 shilling, not even €1, or even an American, however you want to put it. It's going to be history to me. So, in any case, to all you Game of Thrones fans out there who are checking out the truth, because one said, on you go, the truth shall set you free. You all have a great day.